Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to the Expansion Pack podcast. I'm your host, Denzel, aka Black Ice, joined by my co-host each and every week where we download these video games. We love to talk about these games. Yeah, starting off with Manny over here. We got my boy Goop to the right. I keep doing this, but it's really this way. What's going on, Goop?
I know you want to like go this
Yeah, you
way, you know what
gotta
I'm saying?
flip it.
But no, I'm just we chilling. It's Wednesday, got an interesting news that we will talk about in this episode.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, guys. We got. I mean, if you've been on this rock we call Earth, you done heard a little something
hmm
about some Call of Duty and some Grand Theft Auto, two of the biggest games in this industry. So we're gonna talk about it, but we'll get there. We'll get there, I promise. But we also got to talk to my boy
hmm
May 25th down here. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, same shit, different toilet, y'all. Tired as hell, but never get tired about these games. We got a lot
hmm
of shit to talk about.
Got a lot,
Let's get it.
man. This has been like this is like what E3 should have been, right? Like we've had like a good 2-3 weeks of just constant info, right? From Tokyo Game Show stuff that was going down. Like Sony had their little state of play, Xbox had some stuff going on. It's just been like constant info. Like Ubisoft had their event. We talked about that in the past weeks. Like,
hmm
man, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's just weird that like typically, we get all this information at the beginning of the summer. Now it seems like it's shifted to the end of the summer, and I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm glad we're getting it at all because I really thought we weren't gonna get any info this year. I thought it was just gonna be dead quiet. But yeah, I don't know, wild stuff. But again, before we
Word.
get into all of the different things we want to talk about, Chris, I'm gonna have you take it away. Hit us off with that buffer.
Man, can't wait to get one of those like effects where it's just like me just glitching out and shit, and then comes in. It's be dope. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the buffer. Simple ass question this week: what is the game you've played up until now that has had the best graphics? Seriously, the best graphics. It's that simple. We don't got to go no deeper than that, yo. Um, for me, there was a time where it was the first Zero Horizon or Horizon Zero Dawn. When that first came out, I thought this was the most gorgeous game that ever came out. Until I played Red Dead 2.
Mm.
I don't care what nobody says. That game, oh,
That was gonna be
you
my
know what
answer
it
too.
is? Are you serious, for real?
Yes.
Oh
Bro,
wow, my bad.
now you can keep going. Like I said, I got it back and we talked about it.
So we literally just talked about that before we went live. It's funny. Um, Red Dead, bro, it just got so much detail for no reason, dog. Like it's it's partly the graphics and then partly the amount of thought that they put in everything, right?
hmm
It's like the horses have nuts. It's cool. You're into that, you know what I'm saying? Uh the fact that you can kill somebody and come back like a little bit later on and their body is like still there and like literally starting to decompose a little bit. Shit like that. Cool. But Denzel, you know what the fuck I'm gonna talk about. hmm Guys, the first time I walked through the snow in that game, I don't know what it was, but I was sitting there like, you know, they really made this snow look good. Huh. Huh. Because I'm used to like playing video games where like you walk in snow and they give you the little footstep traces behind you that like disappear after a couple seconds. That's what I'm used to. Red Dead nailed that one portion of the game, and then from there I started to see all the rest of it, and I'm just like, bro, this is why the game was taking so long to come out because, uh, fucking Rockstar, bro. Don't want to segue or anything like that, but god damn, y'all, for real, y'all, for real, y'all did some work. I give y'all credit. Red Dead is a gorgeous game with some of the most thought I think I've ever seen put into just the world of the game. Making the world feel alive. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. That's my answer.
Okay. Okay.
Like I like even the small details in Red Dead. Like I remember there's like I seen something where you kill like a pet's owner, like the dog's owner, and you see like the dogs go up to the owner and cry, like in front of the body and shit. I'm like, yo, that's sad. Like, why you gotta do that to me? But honestly though, Rockstar, you got to give it to them. Like, I know they've been getting a lot of hate the last couple of years, which is understandable because the definitive edition, a big one. But uh, other than that, I mean, when they're under prime and they're doing what they do best, they put out the great stuff.
Absolutely.
But I know since Chris took it, I'm gonna have to go with my backup plan. This is probably gonna be Denzel's answer. It gotta be, but I gotta go with God of War. That game is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for Ragnarok. But like, just everything, the scenery, the characters, just even the way the cutscenes happen, and they just like the cutscenes feel like movies. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, it's a movie. That's what it feels like to me, and it feels fucking amazing. Just like everything about that game. When I first played that game, because I think that game came out before Red Dead, I was already in awe. So like I was like, this is the best looking game ever. And then Red Dead came out, I was like, shit. But
That's a shit.
2018 was a great year.
It was.
Yeah.
Because they had Spider-Man that year. We had Red Dead. Okay, God of War. Oh my God. We need another year like that.
Yeah, some bangers.
I feel like I'm in a weird position with this now because I don't know what to pick. Like, I feel like I have
say Horizon Forbidden West.
Well, it's definitely up there, but I don't feel like I've earned the right to say that one because I haven't played it. Like I fired up the game like once and then I didn't really dive into it like that. So I haven't earned the right to say that game. Even though it is
just say Saints Row.
Oh no. Funny enough, I would say animation wise, I really think Elden Ring just deserves like a quick conversation on it. I don't necessarily think Elden Ring's graphics are the most amazing, but I think
we know
after playing the game, no, but like it's better than what I had said before. It's better than what I had said before for sure. After actually getting my hands on the game, but there's something to be said for the game running at a smooth 60 frames per second and having the like. I'm gonna just go all in on it, right? It's not when you're just looking at a still image of the game, it's not the most beautiful game, right? It doesn't necessarily take your breath away in the same way as like a God of War or even Forza Horizon was really a game I was thinking about. But when you actually have your hands on the game, you're moving through the world, the draw distance, the fact that you could be standing off a cliff and you can see the other side of the world that you're in. And then having all of it like run very smoothly and you're getting on your horse and like again everything's happening in 60 frames, you're fighting bosses and those bosses are moving fluidly through the world and there's not any clipping or any kind of crazy stuff going on. It's just like awe-inspiring. Like I just for a good month and some change was just constantly in awe of that game. So I feel like it deserves my respect for this answer for sure. Like it's just not it's deeper than just the graphical portion of it. It's just the total package of like, oh my God, I'm in this world. I can see everything from God knows how far down. I'm fighting like there's dragons like flying around in this general area, but then there's also like this big walking monument that's still moving in real time. Like it's just so many things happening in that world, and then to not have like crazy load times or any of that different type of stuff. It's just a masterpiece as far as not only like gameplay and all those things go, but just from a technical standpoint, it's just such an achievement. So I would say Elden Ring is going to be my answer for sure.
Yeah, I'll give it to them, especially since I remember, we talked about it when they're like showing the whole like surrounding area, and you're like, this looks shit. And I'm like, yo, it's okay. There's a lot of shit going on. I didn't know what I meant by that, but now I do.
Yeah. No, you were right. You were right. We talked about it. We talked about it after the game came out. I was like, all right, Manny, I see this. This game had me hook, line, and sinker. Shit, it had me more than it had you.
Well, you got to be fair. I was playing Horizon Forbidden West because that came out a week before, so I was trying to get that done.
But still, you ain't even. Did you beat it yet? You still ain't beat it yet. I beat it twice.
No, because that's different. You know what I'm saying?
That's different.
Damn, yo. I beat it twice, man. You didn't even beat it once. And you were the one that was really advocating for it.
I probably could fight the final boss right now, but I'm
Bro,
just
let's go. I be telling y'all, yo. I'm out here. I got my build. I'm super strong. That final boss is a bitch though. Like I can't believe I beat him twice. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm down to help you. This is our this is at least once a month. I'm advocating for one of you guys to play Elden Ring. So we're just gonna keep it going.
It's starting to go to once a week, man. I feel like you've been asking Chris.
Look, man,
the last couple
the
weeks.
closer we get to Game of the Year, time frame, whatever, the more I'm
I know we got
up, bro. Because I need y'all to have played that thoroughly so we can really have a conversation about it. Because between that and I'm assuming Ragnarok, it's that man. Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the main stuff we want to talk about this week because we're going off on tangents.
Juicy stuff.
Juicy stuff. So I'm gonna be real with you. This first one is a little bit of a throwaway, but it's interesting. But it's nowhere near as big as the other two things we're going to talk about here. But I did want to talk about it because it's kind of cool. I'm interested to see what's going to become of it. But we did get an official announcement from EA Motive, the same studio that's behind the new Dead Space remake that's coming out. And they've announced that they're partnering up with Marvel to make a new Iron Man game. And let's see here. I'm going to read off a little blurb of the press release here. But as you said, we're thrilled to share that an all-new single-player, third-person action-adventure Iron Man video game is now in early development at Montreal-based Motive Studio. The team is being led by Olivier. I don't know how to say that last name. I'm not even going to bother. Who brings experience working on past Marvel titles such as Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Manny's Game of the Year from last year, and is joined by a dedicated team of passionate industry veterans, including Ian Fraser and some other names that they go ahead and mention from there. But yeah, basically they go on to say that in collaboration with Marvel Games, the game will feature an original narrative that taps into the rich history of Iron Man, channeling complexity, charisma, and creative genius of Tony Stark, and enables players to feel what it's like to truly play as Iron Man. So, very first thing, you know what? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna save my comment on this because I feel like I'm gonna take words out of Chris's mouth because it's something that Chris said, and I want to hear him say it again. So, Chris, I'm gonna start with you on this. What do you think about this game? Are we surprised that it's coming from this studio in particular? Okay.
Nope. So ain't.
Well, no. Not this publisher. This studio. This particular developer. I know you're not surprised that it's coming from EA.
Yeah. Not really. No, yeah, not really. Especially not after Guardians came out and it got a good reception. I wouldn't say I'm surprised by it. It would have to be some really left field developer for me to say, I didn't see y'all doing this.
Well, that's the other thing though. So this just to be clear, Motive didn't make Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That was made by a Square Enix team. So literally the only thing that Motive has made recently is this Dead Space game, and they did, I think they did something else. So like they haven't done any Marvel games before. So Motive is this Dead Space game, this Dead Space remake that's coming out in January, and I feel like they might have helped out with a Star Wars game in the past. But either way, so just so you know, it's not the same team that made Guardians.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess I don't have really much to judge off of if we're doing it that way, but especially because the game isn't even out yet.
Yeah.
So we can't even really say per se. But if they have worked on the Star Wars in the past and they're working on Dead Space, that tells me they're at least somewhat good at the whole sci-fi mecha type of stuff or whatever, which is what you're kind of going to need to do an Iron Man properly. Yeah, no, I not necessarily surprised by it, but I am more surprised that they're taking such a really big IP like Iron Man and giving it to a studio that doesn't really have much to show for itself yet. That's really interesting. It's kind of bold. in a sense, I guess you could say. But not surprising. Not surprising. I think it would have been more surprising for me to know a known developer making it that I just didn't see coming, rather than this one who doesn't really have much to go off of yet.
So I
Yeah.
just looked it up real quick. So they made the Rogue Squadron game, or Star Wars Squadrons game, and then they also made Battlefront
Okay.
2, or they helped out with Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they really don't have like a deep. Yeah, I know that team is made up of some industry veterans, and some of which they even mentioned, having been the person who worked on the Guardians game. But yeah, I mean they don't have like too many games deep in the catalog. But I think one of the things that I was getting at or setting you up for was I'm surprised that Bioware is not involved with this, right? Because they made Anthem, and Anthem had the flight mechanics that you basically felt like you were Iron Man. I'm gonna assume that they're borrowing tech from there because how would you not? Like literally, that was the one thing that Anthem got
Man.
perfectly was the flight mechanic, and that it felt exactly like you were Iron Man.
If they do not use those assets, I'm talking about massive L. Massive L. There is no reason to not use that, man. Like y'all said, it's the best flight mechanic I've ever felt in a video game before. It was legitimate. Even if you weren't doing missions in Anthem, it was fun flying around. Point blank period. It was just fun to do. So if you can bring that same magic to an Iron Man game with like villains and like maybe somewhat of a environment that he lives in and shit like that, I mean, I'm not mad at it at all. I'm also curious to see how far they take it though, because I'm like, do they expect this to more compete with the likes of the Guardians games, or is this expected to kind of like be up there with like Spider-Man and Wolverine and shit? That's something I'm curious about.
Man, if they're aiming for a Spider-Man level experience, whew, I don't know. Manny, what do you think about it?
I just potential, you know what I'm saying? Because one part of Dead Space is there is like some flight mechanics you could say, where it ain't like full on flying around, but you are like kind of gliding in the sense. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's some scenes where you're just like gliding and shooting. But I would think that will somehow translate into this Iron Man video game. So potentially, they already have, like Josh said, BioWare with Anthem, and then like I said, they're I'm sure working on it with this game, the Dead Space remake. So they got the resources. So I'm a little optimistic with the flight. Yeah, if they fail with the flight, which is probably going to be like a big core to game, just because you're Iron Man, you want to. Then I would be disappointed. But right now, I'm optimistic until we see some gameplay, and I agree. Like they better use the resources of Anthem and build upon that just to like work with the flight controls because
I feel like for me, I'm personally not very big on like CG trailers and like concept trailers, but I feel like I really need this for this type of a game, right? I want to know conceptually how they're thinking about flight and how the story is going to play out. Is this going to be like open world? Is it going to be Tony Stark up in Avenger Towers taking care of shit on his own? Is it going to be like, because like that scenario of like an open world New York, which I guess is played out at this point, right? Because that's pretty much the plot for every Spider-Man game that comes out, right? You're just all you're doing is being in New York. But assuming you're Tony Stark in Avenger Tower flying around New York, that could be interesting. I don't know. I would have to imagine that this has to be a linear experience to an extent. You want to be able to fly around as Iron Man and like have as much autonomy as you can to fly around and do all different types of things, but at the same time, like I don't know what do you do? Are you gonna make it like open world California? Like I don't know, man.
I agree. The location definitely is going to be a big piece. Yeah. And like you said, if it's going to be a linear game or open world like Spider-Man, so I wish there somehow tie in. Like if they could tie in with Spider-Man, that would be amazing in my opinion. But I know that's not going to happen because one, it's not Insomniac making it, and two,
well, Marvel. It's still Marvel Games at the end of the day. Marvel Games is the one that's partnering with all these different studios. They're partnering with Insomniac. They partnered with Square Enix, to make the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy game. So I mean, at some point in time, they could say like, hey, like
Yeah, but at the same time, they made that Avengers game, Square Enix, and they put Spider Man in it, but it ain't the Spider Man that we
oh,
wanted.
I know, that's different. But like, I guess at some level, Sony has to play ball, or they may have to play ball if Marvel says, hey, like if you're not going to cooperate, then we might have to, rearrange our agreements and whatnot. Like it's, I at least I don't think Marvel. Sorry, I don't know if Sony solely owns the rights to make the video games. I know they own the rights to the movies, but
Mhm.
sometimes those things change up a little bit. So if Marvel Games owns the rights and they're telling different studios to make this, make that, and like at the end of the day, they're like, Sony, if you want to play ball, like I don't know. I feel like Marvel has some leverage there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I feel like part of it is because Microsoft did turn down from
Oh yeah, yeah.
Marvel, and like I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel's just like, whatever. But at the same time, it's like you put it on the Xbox platform on Game Pass, and it's also a big hit.
Disney likes money, guys. At the end of the day, Disney likes money.
Hmm.
So if they feel like they're gonna make money by putting shit on Xbox and finding ways to get different things worked out, they'll figure it out. But I guess that's a
Hmm.
different story for a different time. But yeah, I mean we'll all
Yeah.
keep our ear to the ground on that Iron Man thing because I mean everybody likes Iron Man. Especially after how things turned out in the MCU. I think a lot of people would be excited for this game. This could be a very big deal. But let's pivot over to our other stories here. We're gonna start off with a little bit of Call of Duty here, guys. You guys know how I feel about Call of Duty as a whole. I've said some controversial
Hmm.
things on this podcast in the past about Call of Duty. But with that being said, we have the new Modern Warfare 2 that's coming out at the end of October. And on this past week, Activision and Infinity Ward, they did have their Call of Duty Next event where they showed off Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, gave us a lot of different pieces of information, and then went ahead and released a
Hmm.
beta that fortunately Manny and I were able to play on PlayStation first. And I got to tell you, man, I'm very, very, very excited for this game. And that's not something you will normally hear me say about Call of Duty games ever, but I liked what I played in the beta. It's a slower pace experience. I know there's been some controversy around the time to kill and whether it needs to be increased, reduced, whatever. Different conversation for a different time, but uh, I really want to play some Warzone, man. I've been missing Warzone for a while. Like they fucked it up after they
Hmm.
did like the Pacific and they started putting in all um the different weapons from the older versions of Call of Duty, not older versions, but like the older era of Call of Duty, where like Vanguard and so on and so forth. I hate that stuff, man. I just want my modern combat, I want my modern weapons, I want my MP7, my PPB zone. Like I just want my guns, and I want them to be available on the map without any of the extra bullshit. So I'm excited to see this Warzone for sure, man. But Manny, I'm gonna start with you on this one, man. You know, tell me about how you felt about playing the beta, and then tell me what you're excited for in Warzone.
Um, First of all, the multiplayer beta, I definitely enjoyed it too. Played a little bit of it, not too much, but enough to like really say that I can see myself playing this game a lot. I gotta say, man, like I, it's funny how the community's like mixed up, but me personally, I'm enjoying it. I think it's a solid multiplayer for what it is right now. Obviously, there's some things need to be changed, maybe some balancing because there's always going to be like stuff like that when it comes to a new first-person shooter when it's all competitive. But I just don't like the fact that people complain too much. Like I like the perks progression system where like you earn your perks during the match, and like people complain about dead silence being one of those things that you earn and like oh it shouldn't be earned whatever. But like it was like that model for 2019. Suck it up. We dealt with it before, and then
Slide cancel,
what's the other
bro.
thing
People
people
mad about no slide cancel.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah, that's a big thing.
first of all, people already exploited that, and I've been seeing a lot of people slide cancel, and I'm like, why? Like, all right, whatever. Have your slide canceling. But like it's so stupid when people just like fucking base a game off of fucking slide canceling. Like people were crying when you couldn't slide cancel, and it's just like, dude, why are you crying? It's a new freaking Call of Duty. People be like, when they first saw the trailer, oh, it looks too much like 2019 Modern Warfare. And then like when they actually played the game, like, oh, it's too different. I don't like it. It's like there's no in
Can't
between.
please
It's like, what's
everybody.
wrong with you?
Not please everybody, man.
It's not even just pleasing everybody. It's just like it's it's a little controversy between like regular casual players like us and pro players, and people were saying like pro players complain so much so they can get things their own way because skill
It's
issue and all that kind of thing.
personally, I think it's an even bigger divide, right? I think it's the casual players, the
Mhm.
streamers, and then the professional players. I think there's a disconnect between each one of those groups where like
Yeah.
cat
When I say like pro players, I meant like streamers, and I'll give them that category.
yeah,
But
nah, don't put them in that category because
they're
yeah,
not
they're
pros,
not pro
but
players, but yeah, I mean the streamers they have their certain way of wanting certain things done, and then pro players actually want things done a different way, and casual people are just like, well, we're just here to have fun, So
hmm
it's interesting to see how all those different groups delineate and feel about the game, but I do feel like the streamers are the ones, unfortunately,
that ruin it the
that end
most
up ruining it the most for sure.
because they complain about one small thing, and then their fucking fan bases to be like, "Yo, this shit sucks, man. Oh my god, he said he sucks, so I gotta fucking dick right him and be like, yo, it sucks too."
Yeah, I mean that's the
I understand you
influencers.
want to stay low, say you stay low in your influences, but yeah, back up a little bit, And then changes made, and everybody's crying because fucking changes made, and then you got the small people making videos like, "Oh, the big streamers are ruining the games," but this is what you wanted. Oh yeah, people probably just fucking bugging Apex or whatever. Like I said, the game's
You
fine.
also
It's
just
a
described
beta.
the exact problems with 2K as well. Not to get into any of that, but that's exactly the same problem that
Oh
happens with
yeah,
2K.
I agree too. Because like 2K too, like a lot of us complain, and it's funny. I'll say this: 2K is a little different because people complain about it being too realistic. Like, oh, you shouldn't have this momentum. You shouldn't have this three bar because it's ruining the game. You can't dribble no more. It's not that you can't dribble more. You just can't spam shitty moves that breaks the game, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, you an old head. You like basketball the old fashioned way." Shut up! Like, it's not that I don't like the fucking. It's not that I like old fashioned basketball. It's just I like a well balanced game.
Absolutely.
And if you're a guard that's hella small and hella fast, spamming left, right, well, like I'm a lock and usually my builds are bigger builds, so like I can't keep up and you splash. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So like, and it's funny because like the people that are complaining are the people that like would spam left, right,
Absolutely.
that have no skill
Absolutely.
that spams bugs.
But my main point is that there's always that parallel, right? Like that's people argue that it's kind of the big problem with like the internet and some of the social media stuff specifically around gaming is that the vocal minority are going to
Minority.
want a certain thing, and it's really actually bad for the game and toxic for the game, and the developers are going to listen because that's all
Mhm.
that they're hearing, and then they make the change and it's like, oh fuck, like now you've actually ruined the game. So I'm hoping that because it's happening, the conversation is happening with 2K. I'm hoping that nothing changes with 2K because I like the way this 2K is set up. But this conversation is also happening
Mhm.
around Call of Duty, and I think certain things will change. I think certain things will have to change. I think that the TTK is one of the things that I've heard enough about from both sides of the aisle that I think something will have to happen. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think everything else about the game is pretty well balanced, well structured, and I do think that things will change once Warzone gets into the equation because obviously the gameplay between Warzone and then the traditional Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer are going to be the same. So whatever change happens one way will likely happen a different way. From what I've gathered from that event, they didn't say that balancing will be different between the two. So unless they announce that change, I think we can expect that they'll have to try to balance both modes. And even within that,
Mhm.
this is the one thing that I really didn't like about the event. By the way, just gonna say this real quick. They talked about that DMZ mode, and I'm super excited that they've officially announced that it's a thing. But we don't know jack shit about it, and it's got me like tight. Like the rumor was that this DMZ mode was basically gonna end up being like a survival extraction mode in the same vein as Escape from Tarkov, right? Um, And that was the rumor for a long, long time. And they even in the stream acknowledged that the rumor had been out there. They said, "Oh, we can finally confirm that DMZ is a real mode and it's coming." At the launch of Warzone 2. But we just still they didn't show us anything, and they're like, "Oh, we still have to keep certain things close to the chest." And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but your game's coming out in a month. Like, where else are we gonna get this information from? Because I'm trying to see that, bro. That's like that's the one mode in between all of the stuff that I am excited for that I'm really like looking at with a very close eye, because if it's anything like Escape from Tarkov, but like Call of Duty Edition, making it more accessible to people, that mode's going to take off, bro. Like it's gonna blow up in the same way Battle Royale blew up, I think. So I'm hoping to see more from it. But Chris, I know you didn't get a chance to play anything yet, but from what you saw from the Call of Duty Next event and from all the people streaming, what did you think?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to play it, but I have watched, I wouldn't say quite a few streams, but a good amount. Like I finally started watching some of the Jack Frag stuff again. I haven't seen him in months. A couple Nick Merckx things, Tim Tapman and all them dudes. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. It definitely looks cool. I'm a big fan of Modern Warfare 2019. I didn't play Vanguard, I didn't play Cold War. None of the two games really spoke to me. I watched one like demo of both games and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Skip both of them. But Modern Warfare, good shit. It's good shit. I like these. From what I was seeing from multiplayer, it does look like, I think, like you said, it's a slowed pace kind of thing. I also agree, just from watching the gameplay, I think the TTK is a little too high. And the only reason why I say that is because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room for counterplay. Like if you don't see that person first and they see you first and they shoot, you're dead. There is no reaction, whatever. Whereas it seemed like damn it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, whereas it seemed like, at least in the last Modern Warfare, there was definitely a lot more time for you to at least react to being shot. You do your little bunny hop, you do your little slide, you do your little what do you call it, drop shotting, all that bullshit. You had a little bit more room to kind of, I think, do some of those things. It just doesn't look like it's like that in this game so far. Um, but yeah, man, I'm not mad at the slide cancel thing, like you guys said. I never learned how to do it, so it doesn't really affect me at all. And it was an exploit, so who cares? The one thing that I did find interesting though, when it comes to Warzone, because I've seen at least 3 streams of that so far. I don't know if they're gonna change this back later, but it seems like there's no more loadouts. You have to go buy your weapons at the buy station. That's different. That's a lot different. That is a lot different, bro. So now you have to really strategize a lot differently. You have to really, really care about money. I think they really gave you a reason to like loot now. Because before, if you were a good player or a decent player, you get money real quick. You buy your loadie and then you're kind of set up. Now, you gotta be a little bit more pick and choosy with how you spend your bread. And I like stuff like that in video games. Because it makes it so that way, not everybody's just running around with the same meta, because that's literally what happened in Warzone. When the game first started, I remember it was MP7, the HDR, MP5. Those weapons were king. The freaking what's the AR that was going sick for a little bit?
Yeah, the one that was like a laser. I forgot what.
Yeah.
The Graw,
yeah, bruh. That shit is legendary.
I'll be honest. I was one of those meta whores,
I was there too. But like, I don't think you're gonna be able to do that type of shit as easily in this new version. There's doesn't seem like that works that way. Now a lot of people are crying about it though, so I don't know if they'll like bend and change it back. But so far, yeah, that's that. The gulag is different too.
The gulag.
It's a 2-man gulag, bro.
About. That's something we really got to talk about. It's a 2-man gulag, right? And you may be partnered up with a rando. They're floor weapons now. You may be fighting bots. There's the key. There's a lot of stuff going on now, and I think that's going to be very controversial when it comes out. Very controversial.
It's going to be. I know I'm going to see a bunch of memes. It's like when you get paired up with a shitty partner.
Oh, facts.
That is crazy though, because like, yeah, just like running around, you got to pick up floor loot, and it's like fuck. It's like now you can't just like You can't just rely on like luck in the sense of just hoping that you get the favorite weapon. Now you just gotta like find your favorite
Also, you
weapon.
gotta like rush to get the weapon first, and maybe that person might be camping around a
Mhm.
corner using a pistol. Like, there's a lot of dynamics that come about with it, and then also this idea that they're implementing bots a lot more into the game. Like, obviously they mentioned with DMZ, and real quick on the DMZ thing again too, how you talked about buying loadouts. I think that's gonna be like a big. I mean, that's if you know anything about Escape from Tarkov, money and buying loadouts and extracting with your loadout is a big deal. So I can see that being a big framework for how they evolve things into that DMZ mode. But back to the bots thing, they're gonna have like very high quality or high tier bots in DMZ. They're also gonna have bots sprinkled around different portions of the actual Warzone map. There are these locations called strongholds, I think they're called. So they're basically secret rooms that have high tier loot in them, and there'll be bots in there that you have to fight, and they're apparently going to be pretty hard to kill. Um, yeah, I think the bots thing is people feel a certain type of way about having AI in multiplayer games. I know people were feeling a little bit weird about it when Titanfall was one of the first games to do it. Like, it was pretty much like the minions that were running around were like AI, and you had to kill them, and then there was also the real Titan pilots and whatnot. Um, it's cool to see that Warzone's implementing something like that specifically, but I know that people feel a certain type of way about having bots in their multiplayer games. So I'm curious to see how long that lasts and how the public reacts to it in general.
Yeah. I agree because they can run the game. You just like get third party by bots and you get fucked because like you want to add bots to the game and I can see that, but like I don't know. I gotta try it first before I really say anything about it because it could be good, it could be bad. Because as long as it's not like the player count is bots, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's just like optional NPCs around the map, then that's different.
So DMZ is totally going to be that way though, right? You're gonna get third party to buy bots. It's gonna be that way. But yeah, with Warzone, it seems like it's more strategic. It's specific locations that you go to that you can expect to see bots. Like the strongholds and whatnot. But we'll definitely have to see a little bit more about it. But the other thing I wanted to talk about as far as Call of Duty goes, because I don't think enough people are talking about this. The water. The water looks amazing, and the idea that you like go underwater and the only thing you can use is your pistol, but you can actually be swimming and like the water plays a big component into Warzone in particular. There's like all these there's boats that what they say. There's like a big river basically that cuts through the entire map, so you can either be swimming through the map to get from point A to point B or using boats. I noticed that they have like mines in the water too that you can hit if you're in a boat and like that. I just feel like there's a lot of different dynamics at play with water that's just really cool to me. And I love the idea of being able to just kind of like hide in the water and then like Chris basically did, like kind of peek up, pop a couple shots and then go back down and use that as like a stealth tactic. That shit's gonna be really fun for me. Yeah. I'm excited to see how that plays out.
One thing I'm trying to see play out is the way they talked about the circle splitting in the middle of the match and then like joining into one final circle. Like it's gonna be good, but possibly can be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you just get split up in a different circle from your squad and you just get fucked.
I love that. I think that's gonna be so cool. Like if
I'm excited for it too. I agree because that's just a whole different element of the game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, a big time element. I think I'm excited to see how they incorporate their like map changes and stuff going forward. I don't think they really planned for that well with the last game. And they had a couple of events that were like, okay. I think the best event they did was the Halloween one with the zombies and shit. That was the coolest thing that they did the entire time. Outside of that, they tried a couple other things and I don't know. It just didn't work. Like their map changes or their map updates from time to time, or them adding a couple new POIs and stuff like that. It was alright. But I hope that with this next one, they've already thought about what they want to do to change the maps and stuff in certain ways, so that way it comes across a lot smoother. Because some of them events was not hitting, bro. They was not hitting.
Yeah. I can tell you this much. I don't think we have to worry about some of the stupid things where like they would try to match up with whatever Call of Duty was coming out at that time and giving you older weapons because we're not getting a Call of Duty next year. So
Mhm.
that's at least a good thing in that regard. And then we'll see what happens the years after that. But I'm really hoping that whatever integration they try to get with whatever the next Call of Duty is, if it's gonna be an older version of like, in an older era, I hope they like
Mhm.
don't make it as aggressive as they did in the past, right? Like I think eventually when they did the big one with Vanguard, that was like the last straw, right? Because they completely fucked up the performance on that game took a huge dive when they did the Warzone Pacific map. It was like I could not sit in a consistent game playing that mode and like not have a ton of issues. Like it was just not good. So hopefully they kind of leave Warzone alone and just let it be what it is, and maintain exactly why it's as successful as it is. If they need to
Mhm.
copy off of Fortnite and do certain events and do certain things in the world similar to what Fortnite does, that's fine. If you want to integrate new weapons and cycle through certain weapons that come through, like if you do want to add an older weapon or whatever, that's fine. But just don't make it like the overwhelming majority of the map being old. Like I don't like that. Like people come to Modern Warfare for a reason. Modern Warfare that's
Mhm.
a sub brand within Call of Duty. That is the premier brand for Call of Duty. Like, I mean, Black Ops. I used to enjoy Black Ops, but it's gone a bunch of different ways, and it still is what it is. But Modern Warfare is the thing, so they need to ride that into the future. And I mean, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be mad if they went back to like a futurized Modern Warfare or what was it, Advanced Warfare. If they go back to
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that, I feel better about that than doing the fucking like Cold War and World War
Yeah, I'm done with
Two.
all that.
Yeah,
I'm so done.
yeah, like just let that breathe, bro. We're good with that. Like we are.
Bro, the last
Ugh,
decade was all fucking old fashioned
that
warfare.
ass.
Yeah, like
Using muskets and shit. Ain't nobody trying to shoot no musket in 2022, bro. What the fuck?
it's just
No
weird to me
powder keg
too.
gun and shit. Like,
It's
bro.
it's weird to me that they keep going back to that well because it's like I would have to imagine that Activision sees numbers and they're like, all right, Modern Warfare sell this much, and then like anything that's not Modern Warfare sells this much. It's
Mhm.
like okay, Modern Warfare is here, Black Ops is probably here, everything else is here. It's like just if you really in it for the money and you want to give people what they want, just stick with the modernized times. And if you need to sit on it and not make a new game or at least a new multiplayer component for a while, that's fine. You focus on giving these other teams the room to make like their Call of Duty stories or whatever it may be. I'm very confident that whatever this whole deal closes with Microsoft, that Microsoft's gonna take a look at this stuff and be like, look, guys, we don't need to be spending money on this old stuff, bro. Like, if you want to make your older stories, that's fine. We'll give you like your space to do that. But as far as like a full fledged $60 game, you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be wasting those resources. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm,
Mhm.
I'm excited to be getting into some Call of Duty beta tomorrow. Right, tomorrow's gonna be dropping on Xbox. We're recording this on a Wednesday night, a little bit later than we normally do. But yeah, Thursday, the 22nd, and through on that weekend, we're gonna be able to play that on Xbox and PS5 and PC. So we'll be getting in there. Be excited to play some, and I cannot wait for when Warzone 2 drops. But we're gonna jump into the
Ah,
the final story here because this is definitely the big one. This is a game that everybody's been anticipating, waiting to see what's going on with bated breath. It's Grand Theft Auto, guys. Grand Theft Auto 6. We finally got to look at it in not the ways that I think most of us wanted to get a look at it, not the way that Rockstar would have wanted to get a look at it, but um, we over the weekend we got a leaked 90 different videos, 90 different snippets were leaked from a hacker who got onto Rockstar's network, and I think it what totaled out to be like a little bit over an hour worth of footage. And it's all early, early,
Mhm.
early build stuff, right? There's some certain things on there that look a little bit more polished than others. Generally, all of it was running on a PC. I think they said that from what I remember, I think one of the PCs was running a 3060 Ti, the other one was running a 3080, and you could definitely tell the difference in graphical fidelity between those different builds. But I feel very complicated about this because I'm excited to have seen some stuff on Grand Theft Auto, but at the same time, like the way it came out is not good, right? Like it's not. This isn't the type of leak that you necessarily want to see, where it's like super early in development and Rockstar themselves have had there's basically a big network breach there, and there's some issues that they've been going through. I think this just yesterday or today I got an email from Rockstar saying that they had to reset my social club password because they wanted to protect everybody's information just in case anything got stolen from that leaker. But aside from all that stuff, it is still Grand Theft Auto 6. We finally got some confirmation on certain things. Some of the leaks that we had gotten, information based leaks that we got in the past, are starting to line up. I remember there was this one thing that leaked out that said that we would be playing as a woman. The woman would be one of the main characters in the story. It seems like that's definitely coming to be true. Another leak had said that it's going to be taking place in Vice City. That also, thankfully, is true. Um, it's gonna be cool, man. Manny, I'm gonna start with you on this one, man. I wanna get your take on this. I wanna know. I know you're excited to play as the new female character. I know that for sure. But you're a big not Call of Duty. You're a big Grand Theft Auto fan here, so I'm gonna let you take it away, bro.
One thing that like is getting me tight is just the people complaining.
Mm.
What they don't understand is this isn't like year to date, like, oh, this clip came out the day it got leaked. No, this is old stuff, like I think it's at least from what I've been hearing, like they've been saying like it's footage from 2019. If so, like I'm sure the early development, it's a year after Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, like they're probably working on GTA Next Gen or even thinking about that. They got Definitive Edition to worry about, all that kind of thing. And like just the fact that people are saying, "Oh, this game looks fucking trash. It looks cartoonish. The game looks buggy." I'm like, hop off. You know what I'm saying? In the end of the day, they can talk all this shit they want, but once this shit comes out, they're gonna be fucking dick riding it from front to back. Say
Pre-orders
this
and everything.
game's.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This game
And
gonna do
it's
numbers.
just,
It's gonna do numbers.
one thing I was worried about is like, the feedback of everybody saying how bad it looks. I thought that was just going to affect Rockstar and be like, oh shit, now we got to work on this longer than what we're expected to be. I hope the shit comes out in 2023, 2024. But, like I thought that, this would like kind of, backlash against us, the people that want it soon. But, Rockstar said they're continuing,
Yeah.
they're doing their thing. Thankfully, nothing has to be scrapped or anything like that. I'm glad that leaks are true though with the what is it called? The guy and the girl protagonist. One leak said they're brothers and sisters, so I'm gonna just stick with that theory. And glad we're in Vice City. It's been a while since we actually had a good looking Vice City. We've been in Los Santos and Liberty City for too long. And I really hope that we actually get a proper, trailer with a release date soon when Rockstar's ready.
Nice. Yo, just a real quick thing about the Vice City thing, bro. I'm super excited to see more of like modern day Vice City, right? Because
Mhm.
obviously Vice City is basically Miami. It's Florida, and Florida is ripe for parodies and jokes and all those different
Yeah.
types of things in 2022. So it's gonna be really fun to see how much shit they just drum up with all the different things that are going on down south right now, and have been going on down south. So I'm excited to see how all that plays out. But yeah, Manny, just to echo what you said, it's a lot of people who don't really know what they're talking about online, like dissecting some of this footage, and
Mhm.
it's like it's very obvious to me. 2019, if these bills are from 2019, that's kind of amazing. But I did see somewhere it said 18 months old. So regardless, it's old. They're old builds. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. And I think this game is still a year away, maybe 2 years away at this point. It's pretty clear that they got some polishing to do. You know, like you're looking at the leaked footage, and it's like clearly showing you like there's all this debug code up on the screen. There's like, you know, the logic of the NPCs, which is actually kind of fascinating to see. Like there was one where she was like holding up a restaurant or something like that, and she's pointing the gun at someone, and like it shows the logic of the player saying like, you know, scared or whatever it is that's going on. Like I thought some of that stuff was pretty cool to see, but the one thing I can tell you is that the animations look amazing, because even for something that's early build, like the animations I'm seeing of the way the character's moving and then shooting the gun at the gas station and all that stuff looks amazing. I think the draw distances are going to end up being amazing as far as like being able to, you know, use the power of all these new systems and like being able to see from one end of Vice City to the other and like having this really expansive world. Like I'm, oh, man, I know Rockstar is going to come correct with this, and to see, you know, to have a small glimpse into it is awesome. I wish it was more on Rockstar's terms, because I think the one thing that kind of hurts me for them is that they are masters of presentation, you know, like presenting the thing that
Mm.
they've built, right? Like I remember when the first trailer for GTA 5 came out and the way they unveiled it, and like when they first showed off GTA Online and like how that came about, and it was like such a tease of like a bunch of people being in a building and seeing like a plane like fly by the building. Like I remember those trailers, man. And the fact that little bits and pieces of that trailer stuck with me, and this game is over 10 years old, that tells you how well they, you know, how much of a craft they take around like presenting their own thing. So it sucks that, you know, this is getting shown off before it's ready. But I'm wondering, you know, Chris, I'll go to you on this one. What do you think this does for the announcement of the game? You know, like, does this mean maybe it'll get announced sooner, or are certain aspects of the announcement going to get pushed back? Do you think anything about this changes?
Um, Honestly, no. I think if this was another company, then we could have that
Mm.
conversation. Nope, I don't think so. I just don't see it. Um, I'm echoing a lot of what you guys are saying in terms of it being old stuff. Being honest with y'all, I didn't even look at the shit because I didn't want to.
Mm.
Um, I'd rather keep it up to complete surprise and stuff whenever it finally does get like officially released. But yeah, man, this game, I don't think it changes anything just because it's one of those games that's gotten to the point where it sells itself. They don't necessarily even need to do like real marketing for this shit. Like they're going to, obviously, but you kind of don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's literally so big that you ain't even got to do that shit. So because of that, it's like, why would I think they need to change anything with what they're going to do, regardless of what they do? The game's going to do numbers. The game's going to break a couple records here and there. It's probably going to have some like praise. At some, I'm expecting universal acclaim when this game first drops. And one of the main reasons why, you know, harking back onto the whole Red Dead thing that we were talking about earlier, Red Dead came out what 3, 4 years ago now, maybe
Mm-hmm.
5, and it's
2018, yeah.
exceptional. All right, so about 4 years
Yeah.
ago,
Four.
Yes,
exceptional game, exceptional, and that's then. Like so, and then they've been taking all this time to work on this game until now. I can only assume it's going to have either the same level of detail, if not more. That is damn near scary to think about, man. Like I don't give a damn about none of these leaks, and why would they let them rattle? This shouldn't rattle Rockstar. Now, if they were like actual leaks from like some shit that they were working on yesterday or something like that, maybe I'd be a little bit more pressed to be like, damn, that kind of sucks.
Mm.
But it's old footage. Who cares, man? Keep going the same exact way you was doing it. I don't see this changing shit. If anything, this actually might have helped their sales. And the reason why I'll say that is because, granted, everybody's still gonna buy it anyways. But that all the shit that's happening right now is promotion, is
Yeah.
marketing, like in a sense. Um,
No such thing as bad PR, right?
yeah, there really isn't, especially when it comes again to Rockstar. You know, they have such rapport with all of us in terms of their quality of games and the presentations and all that stuff. That, I don't think this really rocks the boat. Or and if it is, it's like a little tiny fly that you know, flick off because it's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't fuck things up. And granted, I know the leaker probably thought, yeah, yeah,
So it's funny you mentioned that. I'll say this. I remember the day after, or I think it might have been the same night that the leaker basically said, which is dumb, but they were like, "Oh, we didn't expect this whole thing to blow up as much as it did." Like, you're stupid if you didn't, because this is Grand Theft Auto, the biggest game ever. But they said they didn't expect this to blow up, but if anybody from Rockstar is reading this, please reach out to us, because we have the GTA 5 source code and the GTA 6 source code that we stole from y'all. In addition to the videos, please reach out to us so we can negotiate a deal to basically get it back to you guys if you pay us. Now, Rockstar came out and said that part wasn't true, that the leaker may be lying, that they didn't actually have the GTA 6 source code. If it is true, though, or if it was true, that is the only thing that I could see that would probably just completely derail this game, because just releasing the source code and having it so that anybody can go out and basically build this game now is like, that's tricky, and that could cost the company millions of dollars. But supposedly it wasn't true, and they only got access to those videos through like a Slack channel or something along those lines. So it is what it is. But the one other thing I'll say about this too is, like, I think the one thing that it will change about how this gets presented is that they will sprinkle their GTA humor onto this leak thing, and like it'll be like a part of the trailer or something like that. I just
it will.
I know it. I know how they are. Either it'll be part of the trailer, or it'll be something that's like in the game, like how they got hacked and how all that stuff went down, because they've got a special sense of humor over there, and they know how to like work that stuff out right. So yeah.
You're about to be like, kill this man. I mean, in real life, you gotta want to level, yo. You gotta want to level. They got the FBI investigating.
FBI's involved, because they said it's the same group that also hacked Uber this past week. So, and also may have hacked 2K, as you were mentioning beforehand. So, yeah, FBI's involved. So yeah, Mans is definitely on a most wanted list somewhere. Or that group in general is on a most wanted. They're saying it's like a teenager responsible for all this shit. The Uber one is wild. Not even to get like too like off topic with it, but the Uber one is wild, bro. They were saying this person posed as IT for Uber and like kept pestering this Uber employee and just kept asking him over and over again for his password and his 2-factor authentication thing. And like eventually the person just gave it up because they were just sick of dealing with the persistence of this person. Yeah. Absolutely wild story to me, but yeah, I don't know how they got into Rockstar, but that Uber thing is stupid. But yeah, I mean, I guess we don't really have much else to say about GTA 6. I mean, from what I saw, I'm excited. I want to see more soon, man. I want to see it sooner.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I'm upset because, we thought we were going to get showcased this month for PlayStation. That's canned because they had their little state of play. We thought we were going to, see this there. Or at least I thought. But even now, I kind of just don't think we'll see it anytime soon because of this whole week. I feel like it's just going to...
Maybe I really do have to say, I gotta stick with Chris on what Chris said though. If we were gonna get something at a PlayStation event, if we were gonna get something this year, I don't think this changes that at all. I just don't, because I don't think anything about this, like, how do I explain it? Nothing about this footage was like critical or like crazy. It was just like, okay, this is old build footage of like how the game maneuvers and whatnot, and like we're seeing the protagonist, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't think we're getting any story spoilers. The most thing that's spoiled is that it's in Vice City. So like that takes the wind out of Rockstar's sails to like kind of surprise that on us. But I don't think there's anything from this leak that really would derail them from presenting something to us this year or next year. But we'll see. I don't know.
It's like an itch. It's like a little annoying itch on your back. That's how I'm looking at it. If I'm them, man, keep moving how you moving. It doesn't matter, bro. Like, them dudes is gonna break some stupid numbers when this shit come out, bro. It don't matter. It don't matter.
It's gonna be the highest selling game all the time. I'm calling it.
But like, how fast do you think it gets there, though? That's the question.
bro, it's gonna probably be the fastest selling game for like a day. You know what I'm saying? Like the high selling game in a day.
Yeah,
It's probably gonna reach that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, think about it. Like a lot of us as kids play that game, like Grand Theft Autos, and enjoyed it. Now, like that we're adults. I know you guys are a little older, so but but you gotta think about them. That's like millions right there, just millions and millions.
I agree, man.
This game's breaking records.
I agree. Yeah. I just feel like it's definitely it's one of those things that appeals to a lot of people, even to this day. Like the amount of people that play GTA Online with all its iterations and things that have changed over the years. Yeah, I just think a new GTA story is going to be obviously an automatic dub. Like it's just gonna not yeah, it's gonna fly off the shelves, the digital shelves. But yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll keep an ear out. Obviously, uh, I don't even think we will be the ones breaking news to anybody in particular. Once that GTA trailer drops, man, everybody and their mother is gonna be talking about it. So even this leak,
Damn sure right.
this leak made a lot of news. Like I saw it up on CNN. I was like, oh, like a leak of Grand Theft Auto 6 is up on CNN. Like, goddamn, like it's just interesting to see the wide reach of a game like that and how it transcends like traditional gaming. But yeah, that's I think that's all we got for you guys this week, man. Of course, we'll be talking to you some more about the Call of Duty stuff though next week for sure, because I want to get Chris's take on the beta if he gets his hands on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that tomorrow for sure.
For sure. I mean, I'm hoping they like sneak in a little Warzone like on the last day or something, bro. Last day is like, oh,
that'd be too much.
That'd be
lit.
That'd
be amazing.
That'd be really kind of lit. Come on,
don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up.
They're not up, but it's anything's possible at this point. So,
yo, MP7's in the game.
I don't know. I don't remember.
They haven't showed like the full list of weapons yet.
That's my shit, yo. I need that in the game.
I feel like they showed when people were playing at the Call of Duty Next event. I feel like they showed that somebody had an MP7, but don't quote me on that. We'll see as time goes on. But yeah, guys, we're gonna head out for now. We'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure to check us out on our social medias as well. If you're up on Twitter, check us out at Xpack Pod. On TikTok at Expansion Pack Podcast. And of course, if you're up on the YouTubes, thank you for watching there. If you're up on Spotify or an Apple Podcast, make sure to check us out on the YouTube page as well. It shows your support, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Getting out of here, guys. It's late. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Yeah.